is the Boomba from Lagos, Nigeria to the world. How are you doing?
Good morning, good afternoon, like he said. It is the Boomba right here on your Boom Radio NG. And it's a fine Wednesday afternoon in the city of Lagos State. It's actually very interesting that, is it just me or this week is flying so fast?
The week, the year, trust me. Who would have
True.
thought? It's already April. I still remember when we were shouting Happy New Year like it was yesterday.
Anyway, it is another edition of The Bar right here on Boom Radio. And we're here to give you every gist that is happening around. One that has to do with governance, politics, entertainment, sports, and everything else in between. My name is Olatiluko.
Yes. And my name is still Shola Rogers.
And now let's dive right into it. Today we're going to be talking about some policies that the federal government is here. They are, would I say, not the federal government now the National Assembly, that they have decided to introduce. Personally, I think that some of these things are a good thing. State governments too are also in the news. INEC is in the news a lot, replying people left and right. The court is also a lot in the news. That definitely we're going to be talking about that. A member of assembly in Borno State sadly has lost his life before his inauguration. There's a lot of sports. There's a lot of Champions League football that we're going to be breaking down. Also, the MPFL is in the news. These are conversations that happen that we're going to be talking about, stuff that happens all over the world, and we're going to be checking, are these things really that difficult, or is it all that? But definitely we're going to be talking about all that and a little bit more as time goes on. Now, quickly as we start, we're starting as the National Assembly has passed a bill to ban Ponzi schemes and propose jail terms for promoters. Now, before we even go into that, I know that a few days ago, there was the conversation of, I think it was yesterday, that people were talking about, they're tweeting at the DSS, at the EFCC, trying to report a particular popular skit maker, Nigerian popular skit maker, saying that he had promoted a particular Ponzi scheme that obviously has now gone bust. Honest truth is, those things always go bust. I don't know why people do not. I don't know why people never learn. It always goes bust. Now, the National Assembly has now officially passed the bill. Basically, the bill is waiting for is a presidential assent for it to become a law. But now it is now prohibited to run Ponzi schemes in Nigeria. And promoters of Ponzi schemes are said to now face as much as 10 years in prison. The bill also prescribes asset forfeiture and a fine of about 10 to 20% of the money collected from victims.
Look, the thing about Ponzi schemes is that a lot of people are not honest with themselves. It's beyond this level. Yeah, it's good to pass a law, that would hopefully nip it in the bud, but the real issue here is us as a people. And it's not just Nigerians. Ponzi schemes have been, from the time, there's a thing that one of my friends used to say, from time Imo River. For instance, the Mavrodi guy, MMM,
Yeah, that's true.
It's not Nigerian.
That was MMM.
Yeah,
that's true. There was the story of MMM was all over the place.
Travel Club, Nospecto.
When I was young, I think there was one that they're very interesting story. Please remind me to tell you the story when we're done.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Pennywise Up to remember, my mother will say penny-wise, pound foolish.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear that thing, it's like a major.
Pennywise came around the time of Nospecto too. Now
Okay.
we fell for it. It's not. You see, the thing about Pennywise was that when your friends come to you, people that you trust, and they tell you,
I know a few people that actually
and
made money
it didn't
off it.
look like a Ponzi scheme. It looked like you were buying shares in a business, and there was going to be a quick turnaround and everything. So people paid a lot of this monies and all.
But
People did, But the truth is, again, some don't learn from it.
And then they go into it again.
When it was MMM's time, during MMM's time, people were even putting church money.
Oh yeah.
Their associations money, family monies, and all. There's a funny story that went viral about 2 days ago. A couple have broken up their marriage. They're about to get married, and the wife has called it off after 8 years or so of engagement because the fiance.
Okay, I think I saw it. The fiance
went to gamble.
Used money for it.
Wedding money that people are already buying ashwabi and they're ready to do.
I think that
things.
it makes sense.
And I get what she's doing because
that person will gamble your child's school fees.
Even you, Gongo, if you don't take time.
If you are not studying properly.
Did you not read Mayor of Casterbridge?
No.
You need to go look for that book. Some people even gamble their wives away.
This person will gamble you away. I think that the first thing that people, I know that yes, some people fall for this thing. Sometimes it's not their fault, but I think one of the major bases of Ponzi schemes, in my dictionary, I might be wrong, is the basis is greed, and maybe some people are not very enlightened, but there's something that I've learned over time, and I'm like, and it is that any form of business anybody brings to you that has a ridiculously high interest rate at a very short period of time, then it does not make sense.
Yeah, what we always say is, if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true.
Exactly. And the interesting part about those Ponzi schemes is that the first set of people that actually put money in it, they make a lot of money. Sad part for that is that you know that you made a lot of money. Yeah, you do not stop there.
That's why it's called a pyramid now. It's from top to bottom. The people at the top will get the money. The people at the bottom will prop the top you get. And again, they also came at a time where people were getting into this proper pyramid marketing, like
the forever living,
GNLD, and those ones were authentic because it was about sales. Yeah, they still exist. So people were mixing it up. Like, you can mix it up and assume that, because someone who has qualified for a certain level and the person got a car or the person got some money or they got to travel abroad, or you're like, it's the same thing. But most times the people who brought it to them were lying to them. They were trying to confuse them with the real, marketing ideas there. Because the concept of those GNLD and what's the other one you mentioned now? Forever Living. Is that the money meant for advertising. Those companies removed it and decided to give it to people who were helping them with direct sales. So instead of putting 1 billion naira into advertising the products, you will help them advertise to your own downline, and they reward you with that. It was honest, and people are still doing it to tomorrow. You get? So Ponzi schemes will never leave us majorly because of greed, and largely due to people not being informed. So it's not enough for the assembly to pass a law. I like that they are passing a law, but we need more awareness, like constantly reminding people that do not invest in a business that you really don't understand, you don't have control of. Recently there was a resurgence of agricultural investments.
That also was
like a
Ponzi scheme.
I know people who have real farms who were looking for investors. I know them, and they tried their best and they couldn't even raise money. There are people out there who don't even have a farm. They just create one brochure.
I read something once where the person was trying to explain that, which then a banker now, I read it, showed someone that the person had kind of explained to me that the problem with these people is that agriculture is very, very interesting. Yes. Do you have that kind of high interest rate when it comes to agriculture? Yes, most of the time. But the problem with agriculture is when it comes to animal husbandry or even farming, the smaller your investment, the smaller the risks. It has a very high risk, meaning that you don't know if there's going to be flood tomorrow that is going to wipe up your crops. You don't know if, so the larger your scale, you scale up, which the issue with most of those people was always that it's not like they wouldn't meet up. But yes, the ROI didn't make sense. Yes, but you don't do things that make sense with something with that much risk. That you allow space for risks. And that is the problem that a lot of those agriculture firms got into.
Yeah, that person is explaining to people explaining about a proper business model for people who intend to invest and get crowdfunding. It's called crowdfunding for their farms, which is for the authentic ones. But you see, the bulk of these ones you see are the people who jump on the bandwagon. Oh, they've heard about how one farm raised X amount, and people just quickly go and create a charade, and they even go as far as buying land and making you believe that, but they're not. So he's talking about the ones that lost money. If you really are into farming, you will know that it takes some crops will take you 9 months before you can even harvest, and you're promising people money every month. You're promising people money after 3 months. It's not possible. It's not. So again, for every business deal that you hear about, maybe it has to do with the agri business or any business, or even especially the ones that tell you pay 10,000 now, and we give you 45,000. Please.
I think that we should
don't
just
do
be coming down.
Then again, watch out on your social media. You will see them. They take people's images. They take other people's pictures, and they create profiles and tell you all sorts of stories about how if you bring X amount or do whatever, you'll get this money now. Please don't. And also, don't click on links that you don't understand. Click on this link. Trust me, you're only not putting yourself in trouble. All the people that are your friends, also, you are also putting them in trouble. So these are our own tips to safeguard you guys. But kudos to the assembly for thinking of a law. But I think they need to spend more money in the area of awareness, not just in creating a law.
Okay, let's move on from that quickly. As we move on from that, now Benue government has suspended enforcement of anti-open grazing law for 2 weeks.
Okay, and what is the excuse or the reason for this?
Oh, why did you think there was an excuse?
Okay, what's the explanation?
Basically he's saying, how do I even explain this matter for him now? Please hold on. I'm trying to. Now he's saying that there's been a lot of killings in the past 1 week.
Okay.
And that people should maybe just slow down, and the security agencies should just slow down for 2 weeks and see what is going to happen. That there's been a lot of killings in the state. Okay,
so is it saying that it's because they are enforcing the law on anti-grazing?
I don't know.
There must be some kind of correlation.
Now he's saying,
and this is the governor you're talking about now.
This is the governor himself.
Okay.
This is the governor himself. He actually did come off as funny to me. He's saying that there's a lot of influx of people into the state, and saying that because of that, a lot of people do not know that the anti-grazing law is even in place in Benue State. So you should give people like 2 weeks grace to settle down. And I'm like,
I just know for a fact that there's something wrong, majorly wrong with security in Benue State. It's becoming a major concern for me as a Nigerian, but also, praying that the federal government will always remember. I know that we always say the governor is the chief security officer and all of that, but you see, the federal government should also remember that those people are Nigerian citizens, and they need your help, because at times even the governors are not up to task, as in they're not up to the task of protecting their citizens. We have governors who you will wonder for an entire 4 years or 8 years what they have done or they are doing.
Yeah,
I'm not mentioning anybody's name. I'm just saying that we know them. And I'm not saying it's the same Benue. I'm just saying that is happening. So at times the federal government, what now? Don't look at me like that. I'm just telling you that things are happening. Big things are going. You know. So, but on a real to real, we would really appreciate it if the federal government also would help us look into protecting life and property in places, especially places like Benue State.
Okay, now let's move on to election matters. There are a lot of election matters. First things first is INEC. INEC is in the news. Now, INEC is telling PDP and everybody categorically that the APC presidential candidate or the president-elect was validly returned as a winner. They're saying part of the statement, what's the word now? Their prayers to the court responding to the PDP petition is that they're saying that, other than the fact that I read quite a large part of the response, and they're saying maybe in a bid to clarify this 37th state issue with 25%, they're saying that according to the law, there is no, other than the fact that the Abuja is a federal capital territory, it does not get any special status. There's no other special status from it, economically or politically.
You see, there is no ambiguity about this thing. It's just that people wanted to draw. Remember that we had this discussion here at the Boomba months ago. Before we didn't know it was going to be. I just had a funny feeling about it, but I didn't think that people would go this far.
It's good because why I feel is good is because it has actually never really happened before. Okay,
so this is it. Let us repaint the scenario. Let's repaint the scenario. If say Atiku Abubakar of the PDP or Peter Obi, or let's just say it was Showore, very popular in Abuja, because you know he lives in Abuja anyway. Yeah. Let's say Showore is, or Kwankwaso with his red caps, they just win the whole of Abuja. That means Kwankwaso is president. That's what they are saying. That's what you're telling us. That you're saying that it's Abuja that determines who becomes, and I don't think so, because there are several levels to determining who's going to be president of Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I'm at a point where, at my age and level of exposure, I'm not afraid to speak my mind and say, how did you not read the Constitution to understand what they said clearly? But of course, again, say it's lawyer season now. After elections, is a court season, and lawyers go chop. Lawyers must chop. Yes. Are they going to do it for free? You think this job is pro bono? All the people that say they like Atiku, all the lawyers that like him, or the lawyers that like Tinubu, or the lawyers that like Obi, you think they're going to work for them for free? You know, guys, they like you rich. Which lawyer? How many? I said to you, you be my guy. Just in case you are watching or listening. You now correct lawyer. But how many lawyers are like Muiwa that will say, this is not my guy, make I do this job for him? Do you understand? No, besides I get court case over, I just they talk say
just in case.
Just in case. You know, understand. But on a serious tip, I believe that the focus should really be
on the election.
On the election results, and the entire electoral process. And any candidate that feels aggrieved really and truly should go to court and prove it. I like what Peter Obi said after the results were announced and Bola Tinubu was announced as the president-elect. I quote him a lot on this program when he said that he won the election and he will prove it. The one with Tayami, I just weak. It was when he now came out with his entire case, and nothing in that case is saying that he won the election. That's the part I don't get. But we'll get there. Because there are a lot of people who support him, and he should not disappoint his supporters. He should actually be above board and be strong enough, to prove that he won the election. That's my own take on this.
Okay, we'll definitely see how that goes, but definitely INEC is coming out guns blazing, telling you people that they actually stand by what they announced.
Yeah.
Because the honest truth is, other than when you want to say APC or PDP or Labour Party or NNPP, I think INEC is really the one on the line here. It's their integrity, it's their competence.
Again, we know that
really on the line right here.
I'm not going to mince words, or maybe I should mince words, but I think INEC really was not up to par.
Yes, I think they dropped the ball.
I know there were improvements from the previous elections. I know that they did better.
Pre-election issues.
But some of these problems should have been
never
sorted.
Have come up before.
There's another story. There's another story that I know you're going to come up with, and it has to do with Kogi State and the primaries. When you get there, you would understand why I'm so angry with the way INEC has handled things. Now, I'm not condemning them in its entirety. I like what they've done with the introduction of technology, and how we can still go now online to cross-check on iRev and all of those things. I like a few of those things, but I'm talking about the technical issues and the legal issues that INEC should have sorted out before the elections. And they must factor that into the next elections now.
Exactly. Now, still talking about not really elections, but this happened where the presidential candidate of the Labour Party was detained in London. I think he was on his way back from London back to Nigeria, where there was a statement that was released today that said that Peter Obi, according to the spokesperson of the Obi Dati campaign,
I think he was on his way to London, because there were pictures of him attending a church service during Easter in London. So
no, he was detained in London where he celebrated Easter.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was coming back to Nigeria.
Okay, read the story then.
And
let's
then
have clarity.
Said he was arrested in London by London immigration officials and placed in detention. Now, they're saying,
according to him, they said he arrived at Heathrow in London. Arrived. So it was not when he was leaving. Okay. It was on arrival at the Heathrow airport that they stopped him.
It was accosted by immigration officials who handed him a detention note that told him to step aside. And it was very strange for a man who lived over a decade in that country.
Exactly.
They're claiming that there's an impersonator that has been using his name, but how do you even impersonate?
Now they're claiming that you're saying who is they that is claiming? Because there are several parties involved here.
London, the immigration.
No, I don't think it's them. That's the story that is coming from Nullifies.
Yeah.
We've not seen an official statement from the UK.
But that's what we have. That's the
from who?
Statement we have from the Labour Party.
That's what I'm saying. You quote Nullifies that he is saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not the UK until we hear the official statement from UK immigration.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah, that's according to the Labour Party that somebody is impersonating Peter Obi, which I would like to know, like, in what sense was this impersonation done? Because for you to be a presidential candidate in a country like Nigeria, let's be honest, you are pretty popular. Not some people, but to be a top contender, you're pretty popular. You can almost not say that you do not recognize Peter Obi or you do not recognize Atiku Abubakar or even Kwakwanso.
So can I weigh in on this now? Yeah. You need to look into things like identity theft. People who are into identity theft do not need to appear physically.
Okay, makes sense. That makes
Peter
sense.
Obi lived in the UK, so he would have, and he still has a UK address. His son lives there. He is in and out of the place, so there's every possibility that someone out there might be using his details. So it's not necessarily about recognizing a Peter Obi as someone that looks like him that wants to scam you. No, it's more about people who would use his digital footprint and other things to try to scam people, or even maybe they might not even be scamming. They might just be living there under his name. We've heard of cases where people will take identities of people who they know have left the country, or people who are dead. They would go to another council and try to register in that person's name.
You know what this reminds me of? I don't know if you ever read the book Cesare Banks is Dead.
A long time ago. Can't even remember.
Yeah, I think it was something about some identity theft kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So yes, those things really happen, but
it's possible that someone has stolen Peter Obi's identity in the UK. Very possible. And that's why they flagged it
a lot.
when he came.
You people are difficult, or you people are
they will do it. They will do it to anybody. They can do it to anybody.
There are a lot of strange people. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's a public figure, so whoever is using his identity.
You're only looking at it from a Nigerian angle. Only.
Would you think that it would be easy to flag down?
No. You see, this is the mistake that you're making. You're looking at it because he's very popular in Nigeria. You know him. Oh, Bola Tinubu is popular. Atiku is popular. Someone takes the name of Atiku now and goes to America, anywhere, who knows him? And the person will go and start a life with that name. It is happening. People are doing it. Identity theft is something that they do intelligently. So, you know, the funny thing is, who said that Peter Gregory Obi, that you know, there's no other Peter George Obi somewhere, or Peter Ade Obi?
Even Peter Gregory Obi safe.
Exactly. So, again, there might be the possibility of his namesakes. So if there's a possibility of namesakes, why can't there be possibility of identity theft? I have a cousin whose name is Shola Rogers, and I trust him. He spells his name in full and puts an H. Because someone pay Shola Rogers. You understand? That's what I'm talking about. So it can happen. It can happen, and I'm happy that they let him go, because to me, he's a top Nigerian. No matter what anybody says, he's a top Nigerian. And if you've ever traveled and delayed,
UK, please, we don't even want so much drama with
if,
more people.
If you've traveled and been delayed at the airport,
very embarrassing.
You won't like it at all. Again, I like the part where they said a lot of Nigerians who knew him raised their voices and, you know, got involved and everything. And of course, it's a good thing that he was allowed to go in. He still had, you know, his engagements that he wanted to do in the UK. He had his meetings, did the things that he wanted to do. Came back to Nigeria, and according to the spokesperson of the campaign, or one of the spokespersons, they said he has continued with his charity work with educational and health institutes, giving them money and appearing there and all of that. So kudos to him. But at that level, the former two-time governor should most likely, and again, a presidential candidate, maybe they can, but maybe he's not interested. At that level, I think he should carry a diplomatic passport. You know,
maybe not anymore.
I know that they take it back, and I'm just saying that for a period of, say, for instance, there are 20 presidential candidates. Mm-hmm. I think that they should be given temporary
passports,
diplomatic passports, which will give them ease of access to come and go during the electoral period. Then after, it can be retrieved, and only the people who have won will get their own permanent, or their tenured passports. But someone like Peter Obi, again, it shouldn't be a thing. Now,
it shouldn't be that much of an issue.
It shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, moving on from that, we're looking at we're going to be talking about some very interesting drama, and this drama is between Governor Wike of Rivers State and former senator of Kogi State, Senator Dino Melai.
Senator, not former.
He's no longer a senator.
Once a senator.
That's why I said a former senator.
You didn't have to put former there.
But he's a former
senator. He's senator.
No, he's not a senator.
Okay. What will you call him if you want to address him?
You didn't. Did you hear what I said?
I heard, but I said don't put former.
I said.
Senator is senator.
The former senator
tautology.
of Kogi State.
Senator. Is that not tautology?
Nope, he's not a senator. There are 3 senators from Kogi State. He's not one of them.
So what happened to him this time? Has he climbed tree again?
No, this time.
Or is his neck paining him again?
This time he's threatening to release videos and phone calls.
Yeah.
About Governor Nyesom Wike.
I think you're off mic slightly.
What exactly is the issue that is happening there? So Governor Wike, during the media chat, I think it was yesterday morning, had thrown jabs at Dino Melai, saying that the PDP in Kogi State are planning to announce him as the
Announce.
governorship. Dino Melaye as
Okay.
the governorship candidate
Okay.
in Kogi State, which I don't know why it is Governor Nyesom Wike's business though.
He's a PDP member.
Eh,
Why is it not his business?
It's not a presidential thing.
Oh, so there are things that he can talk about and he can't talk about.
Maybe.
Wow.
Personally.
Amazing.
My opinion.
Amazing.
Anyway, and then he went on and on and on about how he's not qualified to be a governor, how he is not going to
Who
support.
is he?
How Senator Dino Melaye is. I'm
Thank you.
trying to.
Thank you.
How Dino Melaye is not qualified to be a governor. How he is not. If he is nominated as the governorship candidate of Kogi State, Governor Wike is not going to support the PDP, and on and on and on and on and on and on like that. He really did go off. Now, we know that Dino Melaye is not someone to let sleeping dogs lie. And of course, he has given very hot replies to the governor of Rivers State. Now, he made a detailed explanation. I watched a large part of the interview I think he had with AIT, where he was talking about how 4 years ago, Governor Nyesom Wike gave him, practically funded his campaign, his governorship aspiration in Kogi State, running into hundreds of thousands of dollars. How he even gave him his private jet to move around with. How he believed in the cause that he, Dino Melaye, can be governor in 2019. And that how suddenly, in the space of 4 years, he's suddenly no longer qualified. Valid point, though. Also, he went on and on that about how Governor Wike is just pained because he wasn't picked as Atiku Abubakar's vice presidential candidate. How Governor Wike had called him, Senator Dino Melaye, 19 times on the day that Atiku was going to...
19 times in 2 hours.
19 times in 2 hours, how he was begging him to ask Atiku to mention him as the running mate. How he even mentioned some people's names that he had given phones to, and he had to tell him that he was not going to be picked. How that was when he now traveled. He went back to Rivers State. How he has pictures and videos of Governor Wike at the airport of the said day.
That doesn't mean anything. Anybody can be at the airport at any time. The proof that you need. Are you done with Dino's
Yeah,
angle?
that was...
So
it said a whole lot.
So I've been waiting to respond to this. Now, on the side of Governor Nyesom Wike is a valid member and a top member of the PDP. At some point in time, it was rumored that it was the sole financier of the party. Now, Dino's statement about Wike sponsoring his own campaign bid or whatever 4 years ago is testament to that. That yes, really and truly, this was the guy that was carrying the party, and that's why he has so much say, and he wields a lot of power.
Influence,
and so there's no way you're going to say, oh, why is he getting involved? Because again, he got involved in Edo State. We saw how hard he went to campaign for the current governor of Edo State when he left the APC to go to the PDP. Now, for Dino Melaye, 4 years ago, the man supported you, gave you his private jet, sponsored you and everything. Dino Melaye, a couple of years ago, was one of the closest allies of Senator Bukola Saraki, the former Senate president.
Yeah.
And there was a contest last year for the president of Nigeria and the bill of the PDP, where they had a couple of people contesting. And guess what? Bukola Saraki was contesting, but Dino Melaye was with Atiku. Okay, what happened?
What happened?
He switched camp. That means something changed. So
So
if
say
you,
anything can happen.
Dino, can switch from Saraki to Atiku, Wike can switch from supporting you to supporting another PDP person.
Yeah,
That's one. Two. It is the same thing. Because I don't see what is different there. You were campaigning and supporting Bukola Saraki. You were his guy. You were his go-to guy. At some point, he was even acting like a bodyguard. We used to see a lot of that. The videos are online. Then 4 years after, 3 years after, you switch to Atiku. You're Atiku's spokesperson officially.
Yeah.
Now, yes, on weekend, Atiku contested in the primaries. Wike lost. Atiku won. Wike said he wants a southern presidency. Dino said it's a lie, that he wanted to be the vice president. Now it's left for Wike now to respond to that. But my response to it is this. Dino, Wike supported you before you started falling on the stage like someone that didn't know what he was doing. Look, it's okay for people to be into politics and campaign and do a lot of things. But when you start to do what he did, I know that it was mimicking, it was trying to poke fun at Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. And I'm going to take it away from that to the UFCs. At the weekend, Nigerian-born New Zealand UFC fighter, Israel Adesanya, defeated his longtime nemesis, Alex Pereira. Pereira had always gotten one over him. When he finally knocked Pereira out, there was a celebration that he did. Pointed at Pereira's son, the boy is 12 years old now. Pointed at him, called his attention, then feigned like he was going to faint or something. He acted like he was knocked out. And when he did that, people said he was petty, that the boy is 12 years old. And he did. But when that boy was 5 years old, 7 years ago, his father knocked Israel out. And the boy came into the ring, took a bottle of water and hit himself on the head and acted like he had been knocked out. Just beside Israel, who had just gotten up from being knocked out. And he pained him. And trust me, I'm also petty like that. So, all of this story I'm saying is that Dino got on stage and is falling down. Like, as if it was Bola Tinubu that he was poking at a campaign. And you want to be governor. Who's going to take you serious? Seriously, who's going to take you serious? Let's be honest. Who will take you serious? If I am a Kogi voter and you are the best that PDP has, I won't vote for you. If you can go as far as being petty on the stage and you are falling down and you are doing all of that, then 3 months after I should come and vote for you. To me, you're a jester and a comedian and an MC and hype man. That's what you were doing on stage. Wow. That's what you are. And I agree with whatever Nobike said about your career. So that's why he's not supporting you anymore, sir. In case he has not spoken to you, take it from me. We have spoken. So honestly, let's leave the jokes and stuff aside.
But the honest truth is, yes, it might have
the honest truth or your opinion.
Or my opinion. Let me say, my opinion is that yes, it is okay for Governor Nyesom Wike not to support Dino Melaye anymore. 4 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Allegiances have moved. Everybody has changed things. People have different interests now. Makes sense. I get it. But attacking his person and all that. So his person has suddenly changed in 4 years.
When he called Wike a drunkard and someone that is high on other substances that he doesn't know, is that not him attacking Wike's person? Because I don't know where I'm being selective. Let's put it all out. He said that he drinks and he does this and does that. Is that not him attacking his person?
Wasn't that a reaction to what Governor Wike had said?
So can you not go higher? Can you not say, I'm not going to join issues with him? Okay. Is it not possible? Just picture. If you're in Nigeria and you're watching this video or listening to us, picture any governor that you respect. Picture Sheyi Makinde of Oyo State, is PDP. Picture Zulum of Borno, is APC, right? These are two people who seem to have the people supporting them. Picture them at a campaign rally, holding a microphone and falling down. Just close your eyes and picture Sheyi Makinde doing that for a minute. Picture Sanwo-Olu doing it. Picture Okowa rising and falling, and you expect them to take you serious after all of that. You brought yourself to the level of court jester. If they don't rig elections and you still win, I will clap for Kogi people. They want entertainment. Congratulations to them. That's what it is.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. But still talking about Kogi, say that was PDP in Kogi. Now the APC in Kogi, there's a lot of drama happening coming out from Kogi State. As the Federal High Court in Abuja has today nullified ward and local government congresses, the All Progressive Congress, APC, conducted for the purpose of nominating its governorship candidate. Now, they're saying now that the court has ordered fresh congresses, saying that they nullified all the congress that brought about the so-called delegates that there is, or they presented.
Look, this is it. Politicians need to realize one thing. If you cannot undo your primaries right, if you cannot undo the selection process,
we have this
or
story,
the election process right,
stories come up every time.
If you cannot make your so-called structure work, then can you just move on and forget governors and let people who are serious
these days,
come and do it?
A lot of these things really, people take cognizance of these things now as far back as primaries. So why not let us just do things right? Like, put your house in order before you even go into these congresses.
So this is what would have happened if they didn't go to court now, and this election had gone ahead, and maybe the APC had gotten one candidate. The PDP will now take what happened at your delegates and whatever, go to court, and get your candidate nullified or whatever. You get?
Yeah.
But if you do everything according to the rules, follow the rules properly, do it right, then you see things could just they go well. But you see, politicians need to realize it's a new time, it's a new day. All things are passed away. All things are now new because Nigerians are now on top of their game. They are checking it. They are scrutinizing. They are sharing information. Even if it's fake or real, they are sharing it. They have their eyes on you. Can you do the right thing for once? And let's have a good country.
Yep. Now, still talking about elections quickly. INEC is set to conduct supplementary House of Assembly elections in 4 local governments in Niger State. Also, Borno Assembly member-elect Nuhu Clark has now died in India. This is an inauguration less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Barely a month.
Yeah.
Plus.
It's a very sad one. He represents Chibok, if you remember Chibok.
Yeah, Chibok.
Where, we had a couple of our girls kidnapped by terrorists. So he represents the Chibok constituency at the State House of Assembly. And he was the commissioner for poverty alleviation. He had resigned from his post as a commissioner to contest. And he won the election. And this has now happened. We commiserate with members of his family
and Borno State.
And as an aside, as we speak now, there will be a lot of lobbying going on. Right now, somebody wants that position.
It's almost like you'll be expecting like people were waiting for him to die. Anyway, let's move on quickly from that. As NEMA has announced that 104 stranded Nigerians had returned from Chad. We get a lot of these things, but I'm happy that a lot of people are coming back to Nigeria. We have systems that are actually helping people bring people back into the system. Now, let's move from all that and move to all the way to OAU, the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. There's been a student protest, that followed the lynching of an Okolie Arinze, a 500-level civil engineering student.
Lynching?
Yes.
Student?
It was gathered that he was said to have stolen a mobile phone in our hall of the university, and after the lynching was brought in dead at the emergency medicine center of the OAU teaching hospital complex.
This is one of the saddest things you could ever hear as a parent, as a human being. Also,
500 level student.
500 level is the last stage.
Yes.
I think they are even about to
finish
and leave.
Yes.
So again, who are these animals that are masquerading as students? You take the life of a fellow student. Let's even assume he stole the phone.
Even if it was
let's
on the
assume
road, I would have said, okay, baby, it's a school environment.
let's assume he stole the phone. No, is it enough to lynch him?
Like, okay, hand him over to school security.
There's a way.
There's a way things
to
are
get
done.
things done properly. These are the same people that will come out and say they want a better country. They want this. And look at what you're doing to yourselves.
A 500 level student.
500 level
please,
student.
How much is this phone that costs the lives of someone?
I don't even know. How much is the most expensive phone, sir?
I don't even know.
Is it enough to take someone's
I
life
think that
for?
it's completely
We do not condone. We
unnecessary.
do not condone stealing or robbery. We're saying, isn't there a law anymore? Aren't students supposed to be law-abiding students and citizens? Now you've taken the life of someone that his parents will most likely be looking forward to his graduation. The young man himself will be thinking of, oh, where am I going to serve, and how his life will start, and move from where it is to the next level, and he's gone. I want them to catch the people. They will say it's a mob action, right? But there will be some perpetrators in their midst there. The people who led that move.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the owner of the phone will be able to point out the people that they sent to go and be killing and maiming people.
I think it's ridiculous. It's just some ridiculous news.
Extremely condemnable. We'll be on top of this case.
Yes, definitely.
We'll be bringing you
hope
guys
that
updates.
the school authorities actually bring these people to book. Now, let's move on from that. As Twitter CEO, Elon Musk has now set the final day to remove free verified Twitter handles for on the platform. Now, April 20th is the last day for removing legacy blue checks.
Look,
saying that if it was blue something, you should start paying for it.
You see, the whole concept of verification has been subverted and it has been turned upside down. When Twitter became a very big global platform for people to air their views, those days when we had only 70, I think it was 75 characters or something. Before it was 140 characters. Before they increased it to 280.
Now there's a whole. It
was a micro blog. Now it's a proper blog. People are writing once they can pay for it. They're writing speeches and all of that. Okay, it's fine. We change is constant. But I think Elon Musk, I liked some of the things that he was doing with Twitter, but at some point I dislike a lot of the things he's doing. For instance, let the people who have these blue checks have it. I like the fact that if I'm going to tweet at say a Dekule Gold now,
I know it's the original.
It's the real one, because if you go on Twitter, there'll be like 5 or 6 Dekule Golds.
I agree with you.
I like the fact that I can tweet at Simi, I can tweet at any celebrity or politician, or know that this organization is the right one. But now you're allowing people to buy those things. So if you remove the blue checks for all these celebrities that refuse to pay, when they refuse to pay, anybody can open a Twitter handle, pretend to be somebody else, and buy the blue tick, and that person becomes the authentic person.
Exactly.
Elon Musk.
That comes off as something.
I know you're a businessman and it's all about the money, but please don't mess up Twitter. Please, it's getting to a point where we go beg you, because we like Twitter. Now there we they live, we they day there 24/7. Please, Oga Musk, kindly rethink this thing. Allow the people who have their blue ticks to keep it.
Okay. Now still talking about a bit of entertainment news. Rema's Calm Down doesn't look like it is calming down.
No calming down for Rema.
Because that song has now hit the highest that any African record has hit, and it is now number 7 on Billboard Hot 100.
Oh, more. Baby, calm down.
It's not calming down.
This is good news for Nigerian music. It's good news for Nigerian entertainment industry. And the numbers are real when you look at it, because this is Billboard that we're talking about.
It's not even about Nigerian. It's not Nigerian music anymore. He's gone global.
Yeah,
he has broken all the ceilings that there ever has to be. Now, before we quickly go, yesterday was first leg of Champions League quarterfinals. Yeah, and there were quite a bit of surprises for me. Let me put it like that. Inter Milan actually beat Benfica at home 2-0. Did you see that happening?
I can't remember the predictions I made. I wish we go and look for those videos. I know I predicted some things that would happen. So I'm not sure.
And the one I remember was like that. Whoever wins between Man City and Bayern was going to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
And on that note, the first leg, Manchester City decided to show Bayern that we're not your mates.
Yeah, 3-0.
3-0. That's a lot.
You know, the best result for me is actually Napoli and Frankfurt. Abi? Am I looking at the wrong result here? Because I didn't watch any of these games.
Napoli, Frankfurt is out. Napoli is just going to play today.
Okay. So who is Napoli playing?
Napoli is going to be playing AC Milan. And is the conversation of how Victor Osimhen is not going to be playing.
Yes.
Victor
Okay.
Osimhen,
So
yes.
this result is 15th of March.
They're not going to be playing that game. But still talking about yesterday's games, Man City decided to show up and show out. I think that going forward into the second leg of this quarterfinals, it's football. Anything is possible. But I think Bayern is going to really have very difficult.
Talking point is how you sack Nagelsmann and get Tuchel. And Tuchel Rara. The man.
At least Nagelsmann got them to the quarterfinals.
Tuchel is still Chelsea in there. He's still losing games.
He's losing games and coming up with excuses. We're still back to
why this happened and why that happened.
I think that Bayern is going to have a very difficult showing in the next leg. Now, for Man City, this is a very comfortable place to be at. Even though you shouldn't be too comfortable. But yes, we can actually say that is a very comfortable place.
Bayern must score at least 4 unreplied goals. But the best result still remains Inter's result, though, because they got 2 on the road.
On the road, it's fantastic. They probably have the best score that is going. But at the same time, football is football. We really never know what's going to happen. Another very interesting thing that happened yesterday is Erling Haaland, where he had seemed to have broken the record of Ruud van Nistelrooy and Mohamed Salah as he scored his 45th goal of the season.
Do you know it's possible that Erling Haaland is like a cyborg or something? Like
it's not normal.
Yeah, the guy could actually look.
What I say to me,
the guy could be robot.
The best signing of anybody in the whole of Europe this season is Erling Haaland.
Cheat mode, Erling Haaland.
He's worth every single
the boy is a baller and then some. And I think we're moving to the era where if he continues like this, he's going to dominate.
There are stories of him beginning to moving closer to the records of our goats.
Yeah.
So we definitely will see how that. But I think he's doing fantastically well. I saw an analysis yesterday where someone was explaining Man City's game and how Man City is the way they play, that you think that you have one ahead of them, but before you know it, they've regrouped so fast that you never really see them coming. And it's so maybe this is just their season for Champions League.
Maybe just finally,
maybe just maybe. And still talking about it, the Champions League football is still continuing today, as Real Madrid is going to be playing with Chelsea.
Real Madrid, Chelsea. Real Madrid.
Was that even a thought?
Real Madrid.
Why are you even thinking about it?
I have to key into the spirit now. What? You have to key into the spirit.
There was not need. Don't waste the spirit.
I've keyed into it anyway.
Don't waste the spirit.
Real Madrid.
It's going to be shocking.
Is Lampard going to play? He's too young now.
Maybe he should play, actually.
He's too young now.
Maybe they need the player Lampard, not the coach Lampard. But
therefore, leave that Potter guy. I think the guy is better past Lampard. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't see Chelsea winning this game. But, whoever can say, like, it's SL's way of saying it's football.
It's football.
It's football. But then AC Milan and Napoli, I think this is going to be a very tough game, especially for Napoli, that their scoring machine is injured. Victor Osimhen does a lot these days. He seems to even carry the team. So I think this is going to be a pretty difficult game, but never can say anything is possible and then we will see how that goes. Quickly before we go, there was a conversation that I wanted to have, and we see these things happen in the Premier League, we hear it everywhere, and looks like it is becoming a thing also in the Niger Professional Football League. Now, the interim management committee has now fined Wiki Tourist. They're the third club this season to face points deduction. They have deducted 3 points from them. They've deducted 3 goals from them. They're fining them 2.5 million naira and the closure of their home stadium to fans for the rest of the season for violent conduct of their fans.
Yeah, this happens a lot, not just in Nigeria, but I'm not going to make any excuses. Any football club that would not be able to control their fans.
But how do they actually control their fans?
There are ways to do it. There are several ways to do it. Now, there are standard rules that you must follow when you're hosting a football game. You're supposed to have X number of policemen on ground. You're supposed to have your own stewards in the stadiums also, monitoring the fans and everything. We've had, being someone that is a stakeholder in sports industry, and I've worked with 1 or 2 football clubs in Nigeria, we've had to speak to groundsmen and say, why are you watching the game? Be watching the fans. You know, we don't put those basic things in place. Now, policemen are not allowed to even bring guns to the stadium. But if you bring them out in their numbers with their tear gas and their batons and everything, just in case there's going to be a breakdown of law and order, they'll be able to curtail them. But the fans know these things, you understand? Again, if you have a proper, structured fan base, you know, the database of the fans, and they have their own supporters club and everything, those ones that are registered will be the ones to make sure that nothing goes wrong with the ones that are not. So there are many things that clubs can do to prevent their fans from, or else, maybe, just maybe, the clubs look the other way. Maybe.
Okay, so you're saying that this fine is actually worth it?
Yeah, maybe
because
they should increase it.
It's the fines that happen. It is the clubs and the players
hit
that
them in the pocketbook. Maybe if they do it more often, the clubs will take security serious. Oh. Now that clubs, now Wiki would have to go and play somewhere else for their home games. It will cost them more. They won't use their own hotel or their own facilities anymore. They will have to relocate to wherever they have been relocated to. Do you get all of these things? Yeah, it will cost them more.
Okay, makes sense. That makes sense. Anyway, so on that note, that is all we able to take today on the Boom Bar. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very, very much for watching. We will be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you a wonderful edition of the bar. Of course, a lot of updates from things that have happened today and plenty more gist tomorrow. Do have a beautiful day ahead.